finally happened as New England has traded their 28th first, their 27th fifth for Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown, who's already in the building in New England. Check out Adam Schefter's social medias. The Patriots put it out there already that A.J. Brown is there. So shout out to A.J. Brown getting there early today at Patriots the facility, and he's walking into the building. We're showing it here on ESPN2 in his white jumpsuit with the hoodie and the nice backpack, et cetera, et cetera. What?
When you go on a trip.
That's my outfit.
Oh, is it?
Well, not as cool as his, but
that's your travel outfit?
Like an outfit like that, yeah.
Oh, that's not where I was going. But you know how a lot of times you pack in advance and then you're just sitting there waiting for the time that you call the car to go to the airport?
Yeah.
How early do we think A.J. Brown was packed? Was he just waiting for the word from his agent? Like, okay.
He was packed so early that he forgot what was actually in the bag.
He forgot what fits he packed.
No question about it.
Any chance he lived in Foxborough during the season last year and just commuted?
He might have had his stuff packed by the bye week in 2025.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's been packed for a while.
He's been packed for a while.
All right, so then let's talk about it in terms of the team he's leaving first. This is a big moment for a Super Bowl champion, a two-time Super Bowl, appeared in the Super Bowl twice in Jalen Hurts. How much pressure now is on Hurts that A.J. is gone?
Well, you're talking about a third of the passing offense leaving town. Over the last 4 seasons, no receiver represents a greater percentage of his team's passing offense than A.J. Brown does. Since 2022, he represents 33% of the team's receiving yards. That's higher than Puka Nacua. That's higher than Justin Jefferson. That's higher than CeeDee Lamb. So when you ask the question, well, how hard is it going to be or how much pressure is going to be on Jalen Hurts, it's going to be a ton of pressure. Now, the Eagles have done their damnedest to try to offset the loss of the talent. They brought in Dontavian Wicks, shout out to UVA. They brought in Hollywood Brown. They drafted Mekhi Lemon. Like they continue to bring in receiving help to try to mitigate the loss of A.J. Brown. But it got to a point where the relationship became untenable. It became toxic for the locker room, and they had to move on. Now, we'll never know what happens. Brandon Graham tipped us off that something did take place once upon a time that apparently made the relationship irreparable. And so the organization, with no surprise, sided with the quarterback. Mm-hmm. But when that happens, when the organization decides to back the quarterback in what has become a very public dispute between star players, said quarterback better damn well deliver. And so, yeah, there's a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts coming into this season because you're moving on from what will be remembered as one of the most productive receivers in Philadelphia Eagles team history.
He's an elite player. And when you remove him from the equation and you remove the fracture or the drama or the talking points from the equation, we shift our focus. And now it is going more on Jalen Hurts. Not like a quarterback, especially one like Jalen Hurts with Philly, doesn't always have that surrounding him anyway. But now the spotlight is definitely on him in a more significant way. You remove A.J. Brown, a guy who you've had the highest amount of success with, winning a Super Bowl, from this offense. While you did stock the cupboard, you once again have a new offensive coordinator in Sean Mannion. What's it going to look like? And how much more do we need to see from Jalen Hurts in order for the Eagles to get back to where they need to be? And then when you think about the shifting landscape now of the NFC as a whole, do they have what it takes without A.J. Brown to compete with the likes of the Rams, who just went out and got Myles Garrett? It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Philly this year.
So a couple questions for Philly that really popped up to me. What?
No, because I think the Myles Garrett trade raises the stakes for everybody in the NFC.
Everybody.
I mean, listen, how much pressure does the Myles Garrett trade put on one of these teams in the NFC to try to make a move on Max Crosby? Could the
Eagles be in that mix?
Exactly. Who are the other players that are available to be had via trade prior to the season starting that could be added to an NFC contender to help them stay on par with the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl this year in L.A.?
So that's exactly where my mind went. I kept looking at this deal. There's multiple parts of it for the Eagles, obviously, right? There's all of the drama that everyone said was not drama, that Eagles fans, like the Browns fans, said, oh, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And we kept saying during the season, he's gone. I think at one point I actually said, I think he's already on the Patriots. And so seriously, because of all the Vrabel rumors and stuff, not that I knew anything, but it was just all the connections, right? And now I go to the place of, Are they actually done at the wide receiver position? Like, why didn't they slip Kayshon Boutte in there? I was confused about that. I thought he was going to be in the deal. But now I also look at Tyreek Hill, Steph Diggs, all these guys, Brandon Ayuk that could be out there, Deebo Samuel. Are they going to dip their toe in that water? And then I also go to the place of, can Howie Roseman, arguably the best general manager in the league, although I think there's now we've got to put Les Snead in there. Les Snead has to be in there.
He was always
with
in
John
the
Schneider and Howie Roseman. Schneider in Seattle. Can he just sit on a 28 first for 2 years? An extra 28 first? CC, can he just sit on that? With what you just said about the Rams and the defending champs in the NFC West and this division, the NFC East, all getting better seemingly around them, can he just sit on that?
Well, he never does.
So, but would he use it now is what I'm saying.
He always does.
Okay, so is Max Crosby the target?
They traded for Jalen Phillips last year during the season. Like, they always...
It's going to burn a hole in his pocket.
They always go out and they add to the roster. They might not be a first-round pick, but they make a savvy move to add an impact player. So,
Would you give up, if you were the Philadelphia Eagles, would you give up the extra 28 first from New England for Max Crosby right now?
Hold on, you're saying one first-round pick?
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get two anymore. Because I think that price has dropped.
No, I don't. I think it's going to be more than a first-round pick.
Would you give up a first-round pick plus, not an additional first-round pick?
So a first, a second, and something else? Sure.
He's worth that much now with all the injuries?
If the medical checks out, sure.
And would you do that if you're the Raiders?
That if is doing God's work, but
right.
Yeah,
would you do it if you're the Raiders?
If you're the Raiders and you're resetting your franchise around Fernando Mendoza, absolutely.
So as we sit here on June 2nd, 2026, the day after the A.J. Brown trade is official, your expectation is at some point Howie Roseman, before the season, or at least by the deadline, uses the extra ammo.
I would say by the deadline. I wouldn't say before the season starts. By the deadline. They're going to have to buy themselves time. And quite frankly, nobody knows the physical condition of Max Crosby except for the Raiders and Max's team. So that's a situation that you're going to have to monitor and see how he heals up, how things progress as we get closer to the training camp and then potentially beyond that point. And you want to make that type of decision with the utmost clarity because that becomes a defining moment for your franchise. So I do believe Max Crosby will still be on the move at some point this year. Remember, just like the Cleveland Browns said, we're not trading Myles Garrett, the Las Vegas Raiders said, oh, we're not trading Max Crosby after you tried to trade him to the Ravens for 2 firsts. Oh, we're not trading Max Crosby. These NFL teams don't believe what you hear.
A.J. Brown is a member of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They didn't lie.
They didn't lie, but they certainly didn't say, yeah, we're exploring our options.
But do you give the Eagles credit on that? Because CeCe just mentioned all these other teams. Oh, no, he's not going anywhere. Come on. Everything actions over words? Give me a break.
I don't care about sports live.
Yeah,
but the Eagles
it's part of the job.
Par for the course. Yeah.
Isn't it part of the job if you're a general manager to have sports lies? Because you can't tip your hand.
So very quickly then on this. Did the Eagles make the right move yesterday?
Yes.
CeCe?
If the situation is untenable, they need to make a move while they can.
And you have to align with the quarterback.
You're asking me if they made the right move. I don't know. That is me honestly speaking. I don't know. It depends on how good you think Jalen Hurts is going to be.
I think they made the right move because I think he's going to be great. I'll pick him right now for MVP. I'll do it. Yeah.
Boy, you are on one today. You got so many hot takes.
2 days
today.
in a row.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Wemby has more pressure on him than the Knicks to get it done. Jalen Hurts MVP back to back. You are in mid-season NFL form right now.
It's going to be an extreme year. It's either going to be MVP or they're going to be drafted in the first round next year looking for a quarterback.
What are you going to put on it? What are you willing to wager?
My face, my words, the social media destruction that's about to happen.
Those are the only 2 options. MVP or first-round pick.
And you literally told us, it's not about, being right or not. It's about, providing the right information. So which one? No, there has to be some stakes to this.
No, we quite literally have a jar called the bad take jar. Okay? If this turns out to be a bad take, you got to pay up.
All right.
We've got PayPal.
Okay.
Pay up.
All right. So what's
how much?
The normal?
CC? What are the stakes?
Normal is $1 to $10. I'll put $20.
No. Smalls had to give up, what, $87 for
$87.
I'm not ready for that.
Travis Kelce and the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl.
I think he absolutely.